That sizzle, that smell. Bacon is pure comfort, right? It reminds me of lazy weekend mornings and family breakfasts. But as a doctor, I need to tell you that behind that comforting aroma, some popular bacon brands are hiding serious health risks that can add up over time. Many are loaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and chemical preservatives that can be especially tough on a senior's body, straining the heart and kidneys. Today, we're exposing 8 bacon brands you should leave on the shelf. But don't worry, I won't leave you hanging. I'll also share 2 fantastic, clean bacon brands that deliver all the flavor without the health risks. Remember, even healthier options can be tricky, like the recent recall of Oscar Mayer turkey bacon. So, if you love bacon but also value your health, stick around. Let's make sure your breakfast is helping, not harming, your long-term well-being. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more health-conscious tips. Ever wondered if your morning bacon is secretly sabotaging your health? You pick it up at the grocery store, thinking it's a classic breakfast staple. But some of the most popular brands can quietly wreak havoc on your heart, kidneys, and blood pressure. You'll be absolutely shocked by which ones made this list. Let's start with a name you see in almost every grocery aisle. Walmart's Great Value Bacon. That name, Great Value, sounds so comforting, right? It makes you think of affordability, family meals, and everyday convenience. But when it comes to your health, this bacon might cost you a lot more than you think. I've had countless patients tell me they choose this brand because it is cheap and it is always there. Unfortunately, in the food industry, cheap often means poor quality fat, an overload of sodium, and questionable processing. The moment you open the package, the first red flag pops up. The strips often look brownish and limp, almost like they've already gone bad. And instead of that delicious smoky aroma, you're hit with an unpleasant smell of wet cardboard mixed with old grease. That isn't the smell of breakfast. That's a clear sign of poor preservation. From a nutritional perspective, the problem is serious. Each slice of Great Value bacon contains around 400 to 450 milligrams of sodium. That means just 3 strips can easily push you past half your daily recommended limit. For anyone managing high blood pressure or heart disease, that's like adding fuel to a fire. High sodium pulls water into your bloodstream, which raises the pressure on your heart and kidneys. Over time, that kind of strain can lead to chronic kidney disease, arrhythmias, and even heart failure. But the story doesn't end there. The fat-to-protein ratio in this bacon is incredibly unbalanced. You're getting mostly fat, those cloudy white ribbons that melt into a giant puddle of grease, and very little actual protein. One of my patients, a retired truck driver, once told me, "Doc, I switched to this bacon because it's cheaper, but it leaves a slick on the pan that looks like oil paint." Sadly, that slick is exactly what ends up coating your arteries too. Even worse, the FDA has flagged inconsistencies in store-brand meats like Great Value, ranging from fat contamination to elevated levels of sodium nitrate. These additives are used to preserve color and extend shelf life, but they can react in your body to form nitrosamines compounds linked to a higher risk of stomach and colon cancer. Simply put, this bacon looks like a deal, but it's really a debt one you'll pay for later with your health. If you're craving something affordable, but safer, I often recommend looking for USDA-verified store brands or smaller regional producers that list their sourcing and sodium levels clearly. Even Aldi's Never Any line offers cleaner bacon for a similar price. You deserve food that fuels your body, not food that fights it. Next up, a name that so many shoppers trust, Applegate. It's the brand that proudly prints natural, no nitrates, and humanely raised all over its packaging. These are the words that make health-conscious families feel safe. But as a doctor who has spent years studying nutrition labels, I can tell you, natural doesn't always mean healthy. Applegate markets itself as the clean choice, no artificial ingredients, no hormones, no antibiotics. On paper, it sounds perfect. But in reality, it's a classic case of health washing, where clever marketing tricks you into believing a food is better for you than it actually is. Let's break it down. First, the portion size. Most Applegate bacon comes in 8-ounce packs, not the standard 16 ounces. That's half the amount for nearly double the price. Many of my older patients on fixed incomes have told me they switched to natural brands like this, thinking they were making a healthier choice. But the disappointment is immediate when they cook it. The strips shrink into small, chewy bits that barely cover a slice of toast. From a medical standpoint, that's not just a culinary frustration, it's a nutritional trap. You end up eating more slices just to feel full, which means more sodium, more fat, and less real protein than you expected. The illusion of eating clean actually encourages overconsumption. And that's not all. Despite its no nitrates added claim, Applegate uses celery powder. This is a natural source of nitrates that, once cooked, creates the very same nitrosamines the brand claims to avoid. It's a legal loophole that confuses even the most careful shoppers. Your body doesn't care if the nitrates come from celery or a lab. The chemical effect is identical. Another concern is the texture and cooking quality. Applegate bacon tends to release a cloudy, whitish fat that leaves the pan greasy but the meat rubbery. Many people describe it as bacon jerky, tough, leathery, and lacking flavor. That's a sign of poor fat composition and excess water retention, which can come from overcuring or inconsistent processing. One of my patients, a retired nurse, told me she felt duped after paying nearly $8 for a pack that turned into what she called bacon dust. She thought she was making a healthy choice, but the end result was more sodium, less protein, and an empty wallet. Here's the bottom line. Applegate isn't the worst offender, but it's one of the most misleading. It gives shoppers a false sense of security while quietly delivering the same problems as cheaper brands: high sodium, processed fat, and poor protein quality. If you want truly cleaner bacon, skip the marketing buzzwords. Look for brands like Peterson S No Sugar Added Hickory Smoked Bacon or Greenfield Natural Applewood Smoked Bacon. These deliver better texture, lower sodium, and genuine ingredients without relying on clever label tricks. Because when it comes to your health, natural should mean nutritious, not just an expensive disappointment. Remember Hormel Black Label? For years, it was the Cadillac of bacon. That glossy black package was a staple for Saturday morning breakfast, a symbol of quality. But I'm here to tell you, as a doctor, that classic has completely lost its way. I used to have patients tell me they trusted Hormel because it was real bacon. Now, when I look at what's inside, I have to warn them, the product has changed drastically, and not for the better. Let's break it down. The biggest red flag is the fat content. Hormel used to use well-marbled pork, a nice balance of fat and meat. Today, most packages are just fatty ribbons that shrink into a greasy puddle in the pan. When your bacon melts into oil, instead of getting crispy, you're not eating quality protein anymore. You're mostly eating saturated fat and salt. For older adults, this is a serious health risk. Just 2 slices of Hormel Black Label can pack around 300 milligrams of sodium and over 10 grams of fat. For anyone managing high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol, that's a direct stressor on your cardiovascular system. Over time, it contributes to arterial stiffness and raises your risk of heart attack or stroke. And the taste, it's another clue. That rich, smoky flavor has been replaced by a flat, almost chemical taste. That's because they're using liquid smoke flavoring, not real wood smoking. It's an industrial shortcut that sacrifices authenticity for profit. One of my patients told me, "Doc, it just smells like chemicals now." He's right. The World Health Organization classifies processed meats, like bacon, as Group 1 carcinogens, in the same category as tobacco. Now, that doesn't mean one breakfast will harm you, but frequent consumption quietly increases your risk of serious health issues. If you still want that bacon fix, there are better choices. Even Hormel's own Natural Choice line offers uncured bacon with less sodium and no synthetic nitrate. The takeaway is simple. Hormel Black Label is selling you nostalgia, not nutrition. Your body deserves better. Now, let us talk about another brand that promises big savings but delivers big disappointment. Sam S Club member S Mark Bacon. Many families, especially retirees, buy in bulk thinking it's a smart financial move. But with this bacon, you're buying paper-thin slices of salt and fat disguised as food. The low price per pound feels like a deal, but when you open the package, the illusion shatters. The slices are flimsy and tear apart when you try to separate them. In the pan, it gets even worse. Instead of sizzling, the strips practically dissolve into a puddle of grease, leaving you with oily, burnt threads. The kitchen fills with the smell of scorched salt, not that inviting Sunday breakfast aroma. A 72-year-old patient with kidney issues told me he loved this brand because it's cheap. He didn't realize each serving carries over 350 milligrams of sodium with almost no usable protein. For anyone with heart or kidney problems, that's like pouring salt directly into your bloodstream. It forces your heart and kidneys to work overtime. Nutritionally, this bacon is all risk and no reward. You get calories, fat, and sodium, but minimal protein and no vitamins. Here's the trick. They often inject the meat with water to increase its weight, so you're literally paying for water. That's why it vanishes in the pan. It was never all meat to begin with. The taste is just as bad, flat, overly salty, and faintly sour. This kind of bacon might save you a few dollars at the store, but it could cost you dearly in health down the line. You're better off with brands like Wright or Farmland Thick Cut, which offer better texture and nutrition. I tell all my patients this simple rule. If your bacon cooks away to nothing, it was never really food to begin with. Don't fall for the illusion of savings when it comes to your health. Cheap bacon is the most expensive kind. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more health insights. Stay safe and eat well. Are you a bacon lover? You might want to watch this first. Today, we're exposing the truth about two of the most popular bacon brands in America, and what I reveal could save your health. Let's get started. First up, one of the most deceptive budget bacons on the market, Aldi's Appleton Farms. It's marketed as the smart shopper's choice, affordable and dependable. But as a doctor who has reviewed hundreds of processed foods, I'm here to tell you this isn't balance. It's a fat scam hiding in plain sight. When you open a pack of Appleton Farms bacon, the first thing you'll notice isn't the aroma, it's the color and texture. The strips are wildly inconsistent. Some are thick and rubbery, while others are so thin they tear before they even hit the pan. That's a huge red flag. It means the cuts are poorly trimmed, low-quality leftovers pressed together to look uniform. And once it hits the skillet, the truth comes out fast. Instead of that satisfying crackle, Appleton bacon screams and smokes, flooding your kitchen with the heavy odor of burnt grease. Within seconds, the strips shrivel into oily puddles. You don't get crisp bacon. You get grease pretending to be breakfast. From a medical perspective, this brand is a silent health hazard. Appleton Farms bacon can be composed of up to 98% saturated fat, with barely any lean meat. For older adults, this is especially dangerous. Saturated fat raises LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, which accelerates plaque buildup in arteries, increasing the risk of heart attacks and strokes. I remember one 68-year-old patient who switched to Appleton Farms to save money. After just a few months, her cholesterol numbers skyrocketed. When we reviewed her diet, this bacon was the culprit. Cheap fat isn't just heavy on the pan, it's heavy on the heart. Another major issue is the sodium. Just 2 slices can pack over 400 milligrams. Because the strips are mostly fat, people tend to eat more to feel full, compounding the damage. That's how just a few pieces can quietly exceed your daily sodium limit before lunch. The brand positions itself as a value choice, but the real trick is how it keeps costs low. It loads the product with cheap trimmings, preservative-heavy fat, and then adds artificial smoke to fake that real bacon smell. My rule as a physician is this: if your bacon gives off more smoke than aroma, it's not breakfast, it's a warning sign. Now, let's talk about a brand built on nostalgia. Smithfield. For generations, this was America's breakfast pride. But the sad truth is, the bacon that once brought families together is now one of the most misleading products in the grocery aisle. When patients tell me, "Doctor, I only buy Smithfield because my parents trusted it," I understand. But the Smithfield of today isn't the Smithfield of the past. Open a pack, and you'll find thin, uneven slices. Once it hits the pan, it doesn't cook like real bacon anymore. Instead of crisping up, it turns into leathery, rubbery ribbons. The smell is equally disappointing, not a rich, smoky aroma, but a harsh, salty odor with a chemical undertone. That's industrial processing disguised as nostalgia. Here's where the danger comes in. A 2-slice serving of Smithfield can also contain over 400 milligrams of sodium, nearly 20% of a senior's safe daily limit. For anyone on blood pressure, heart, or kidney medications, this is a recipe for disaster. Too much sodium raises blood volume, forcing the heart to pump harder, which can lead to swelling, dizziness, and over time, a higher risk of stroke. And if the salt doesn't get you, the preservatives might. Smithfield still uses sodium nitrite, a curing agent linked by the World Health Organization to an increased risk of colorectal cancer. To save costs, Thinner, fattier slices are pushed under the same premium label. So what's the fix? You don't have to give up bacon, just choose wisely. Look for brands with thicker cuts and real wood smoke, like Wright or Bent. They're pricier, yes, but you're paying for real meat and flavor, not saltwater and chemicals. I tell all my patients, nostalgia won't protect your heart, only knowledge will. Your body deserves better than a salty, chemical-laden echo of the past. For years, brands like Oscar Mayer have sold us a story. They've marketed their turkey bacon as the guilt-free alternative, the smart, lighter choice for people who want bacon without the fat. We've all seen the ads, happy families, sizzling pans, and that magic phrase, 50% less fat. But as a physician, I need to tell you, True Health, ISNT, about what's missing from the label. It's about what's hiding behind it. Let's start with the illusion. When you open a pack of Oscar Mayer turkey bacon, the first thing you notice is the texture. It's rubbery, stiff, and unnaturally uniform. Real meat never looks this perfect. That's because it isn't real meat in the way you think. It's pressed, processed, and mechanically formed from leftover turkey parts, skin, and fillers. Instead of lean muscle, you're looking at an industrial meat paste that's been dyed, flavored, and shaped to look like bacon. And when you cook it, the illusion shatters. The strips don't sizzle, they snap. The edges burn black while the middle stays chewy, giving you the strange sensation of biting into a rubber band. That smell isn't the comforting aroma of smoked meat. It's the acrid scent of artificial liquid smoke, a lab-made compound that can irritate the lungs and digestive tract when inhaled or eaten frequently. Now, let's talk about the part that's truly dangerous, the sodium and chemical preservatives. Just 2 small slices of this turkey bacon pack over 350 milligrams of sodium and that's before you add toast or eggs. For older adults, especially those managing hypertension, kidney disease, or heart issues, this is a hidden trap. High sodium makes your body hold onto water, which increases blood pressure and puts constant stress on the heart. Over time, this can lead to fatigue, dizziness, swelling, and in severe cases, heart failure. The brand also uses sodium nitrite, a preservative linked by the World Health Organization to an increased cancer risk. Studies show that nitrites can form compounds in the body that damage our cells and DNA. While many European countries have restricted these additives, they remain legal and widely used in American healthy processed meats. I had an elderly patient, a 74-year-old woman managing hypertension, who switched to Oscar Mayer turkey bacon after seeing an ad calling it a better choice for your heart. 3 months later, her blood pressure readings were worse than before. She didn't realize she was eating the same level of sodium as traditional bacon, just in a different package. Then there's the protein quality. Despite its lean image, this turkey bacon offers very little usable protein, often less than 6 grams per serving. Because of how it's processed, the protein is denatured and mixed with starches and flavor. So instead of building muscle or keeping you full, it just tricks your body with empty, salty calories that leave you hungry again in an hour. From a medical standpoint, this is the worst kind of product. It wears a healthy disguise while quietly undermining the very organs it claims to protect. For seniors, it's especially misleading. The low-fat label gives a false sense of safety, but the chemical load tells a very different story. And finally, we reach what might be the most misleading product on this list, Genio turkey bacon. It's sold as the smart alternative, the bacon that lets you enjoy breakfast guilt-free. The packaging screams lean, light, and healthy, but what's really inside that cheerful wrapper is something no one should be eating, especially older adults. As a doctor, I see this pattern all the time. People trade one risk for another. They give up real meat to avoid fat, only to end up eating a chemical sponge soaked in salt and marketing. Let's take a closer look. The moment you open a pack of Genio turkey bacon, you see the warning signs. The slices are pale pink, slimy, and sticky. They cling together like old deli meat instead of separating cleanly. That texture tells you exactly what you're dealing with. Reprocessed scraps of turkey skin, fat, and starch, molded and dyed to look like bacon. When it hits the pan, the illusion collapses. Instead of sizzling to a crisp, it hardens into a flat, rubbery sheet that tastes more like packaging than food. There's no rich aroma, only the chemical temps of artificial smoke. Now for the health danger. A 2-slice serving delivers over 260 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot, When you consider the lack of nutrition, it provides barely 6 grams of low-quality protein and plenty of additives. You think you're eating something leaner, but you're just filling your body with salt water, starch, and artificial smoke. I remember a 72-year-old patient managing both diabetes and high blood pressure who proudly told me he switched to turkey bacon to eat healthier. Yet his lab tests told a different story. His sodium levels were up and his kidney function had dropped. When we reviewed his diet, the culprit was clear. Genio's healthy bacon had quietly sabotaged his progress. For older adults, this is especially dangerous because your kidneys are less efficient at removing sodium. Every extra milligram of salt forces your body to retain water, straining your heart and blood vessels. So what should you do instead? If you want a true alternative, skip the lab-made turkey plastic. Try a small portion of real nitrate-free pork bacon from brands like Wright or Greenfield. Or better yet, organic chicken sausage made with whole cuts of meat and simple ingredients. Remember this simple rule: if it smells fake, looks fake, and cooks fake, it probably is. These products aren't real food. They're a marketing illusion. If you care about your health, don't settle for what's labeled light. Choose what's real. Your body deserves honesty more than convenience. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this information helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content to help you live a healthier life. Stay safe and be well. After looking at some pretty questionable bacon brands on store shelves, let's end on a high note. The good news is, there are still a few trustworthy choices out there. These are the brands that remind us what real delicious bacon is supposed to taste like: flavorful, satisfying, and made with honesty. Now, as a doctor, I'm never going to call bacon a health food, but I'm a firm believer in balance. When you choose wisely and enjoy it in moderation, even folks over 60 can fit the right kind of bacon into a heart-conscious lifestyle. So, let's dive into the 2 safest and best-tasting bacon brands I recommend to my own patients. First up is Wright Brand Hickory Smoked Bacon. If you want to taste what bacon was like back in the day, this is it. This isn't that flimsy paper-thin stuff that's been soaked in chemicals. Wright's uses real hickory wood smoke, not some artificial liquid flavoring. You can smell the difference the second it hits a hot pan. The slices are thick, beautifully marbled, and meaty. You won't find any weird slime or see it shrink down to nothing. It just crisps up perfectly, with golden edges and that amazing backyard barbecue smell. A patient of mine put it best: "Doctor, it smells like real food again," and he's spot on. That aroma is a sign of true craftsmanship, not factory shortcuts. Nutritionally, it's not perfect. One slice has about 340 milligrams of sodium. But here's the key difference: the protein-to-fat ratio is much better than in cheaper brands. That means you're getting more actual protein for your body and less empty grease. This is a big deal, especially for seniors trying to maintain muscle mass and energy. If you enjoy bacon from time to time, Wright is a brand I can genuinely recommend in moderation. A slice or two with some eggs or veggies can make for a wonderful weekend breakfast without sending your blood pressure through the roof. Next, for those who care about both health and how the animals are raised, let's talk about Greenfield Natural Bacon. This is a fantastic choice. Greenfield's commitment is real. Their meat comes from farms that use no antibiotics, no growth hormones, and treat their animals humanely. That alone puts them in a league of their own compared to most big commercial brands. But what really makes Greenfield stand out is the quality. It's naturally applewood smoked, giving it this mild, sweet aroma without that harsh, chemical aftertaste. The texture is perfectly balanced, crispy on the edges, tender in the middle, and the fat cooks up clean. And here's a surprise: 2 slices of Greenfield bacon have less sodium than many so-called healthy turkey bacon products, but it tastes a million times better. For older adults, that lower sodium, combined with cleaner fat and high-quality protein, means less stress on your heart, arteries, and kidneys. IVA recommended this brand to so many patients who thought they had to give up bacon for good. And they all come back and say, "Doctor, this is the first bacon that didn't make me feel guilty." That's what real, responsible food does. It satisfies your cravings and your conscience. So, here's the bottom line: no bacon is a superfood, but some are just honest. They're made with real ingredients, using traditional methods, and with respect for your health. If you're over 60, you don't have to say goodbye to bacon forever. You just need to choose smarter and enjoy it as a treat, not an everyday staple. Good health isn't about giving up everything you love. It's about understanding what your body needs. So go ahead, enjoy your bacon, but pick a brand that treats you with respect. Let's bring this full circle. For many of us, bacon isn't just food, it's a memory. It's the smell of Sunday morning breakfast, a taste of comfort. As a doctor, I get that. I would never tell you to give up life's small joys. But I will tell you this: joy and health can coexist if you make informed choices. After analyzing over a dozen major bacon brands, the difference between safe and dangerous comes down to three things. First, the quality of fat. Are you getting real cuts or reprocessed scraps? Second, sodium and additives. How much hidden salt and preservatives are packed into each slice? And third, honesty in production. Is it real smoke or chemical smoke? Brands like Great Value, Smithfield, and Genio have often turned a beloved breakfast food into a factory product. They can be high in sodium, fake flavor, and cheap fat that hurts your body over time. But then, you have brands like Wright and Greenfield, which are proof that when food is made with care, it can still nourish both the body and the heart. Here's what I tell my patients, especially those over 60. You don't need to eliminate bacon from your life. You just need to redefine your relationship with it. Choose thicker cuts, look for nitrate-free options, and go for naturally smoked products. Limit your portions. 1 or 2 slices are enough to satisfy that craving without overwhelming your system. And most importantly, balance your plate. Pair your bacon with fiber-rich foods like vegetables, whole grain toast, or fruit. This helps protect your heart from those sodium spikes. Because at the end of the day, health isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. If you take care of your heart takes care of you. If you respect your kidneys, they will serve you for years longer. And if you feed your body truthfully, it will reward you with energy, strength, and time. So the next time you reach for a pack of bacon, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, is this brand honoring my body, or just my cravings? Because food is more than fuel. It's a conversation between what you want right now and what you want to live for later. Stay smart, stay balanced, and take care of your health one breakfast at a time. If you found this video helpful, take a moment to support this mission. My goal isn't just to tell you what not to eat. It's to help you make smarter, safer, and more confident choices every single day. Subscribe to the Healthy Path channel so you don't miss the next health alert, where we'll continue uncovering hidden dangers in everyday foods. Hit the like button if you learned something new today. It helps this information reach more families who need it. And share this video with someone you care about, like a parent, a grandparent, or a friend who still believes all bacon is the same. Remember, small choices create big change. Every time you pick a cleaner, more honest brand, you're not just protecting your heart, you're investing in more mornings, more laughter, and more time with the people you love. Stay well, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video, where we uncover the truth behind another harmless food that might not be so innocent after all.